Are your checks moving? Confused about your February and March payment dates? You aren't alone. With 2026 bringing a weekend quirk to the calendar, millions of Social Security and SSI recipients are seeing their deposit dates shift. If you are expecting your money on the first of the month, you need to listen closely. Because February 1st and March 1st both fall on Sundays, the Social Security Administration is moving those payments up. But here is the catch. This isn't an extra check or a new stimulus. It is an early delivery that creates a double payment month in both January and February for SSI recipients. If you don't budget correctly, you could find yourself with a 5-week gap until your next deposit. Meanwhile, if you receive traditional Social Security, retirement, or disability, your Wednesday schedule remains steady, but there is a specific group of people who will see their money on February 3rd and March 3rd without fail. In this video, we are breaking down the exact day-by-day calendar for February and March 2026. We'll show you exactly when your birth date-based check will hit, why some of you are getting paid twice in 28 days, and how the 2.8% COLA is being calculated during these shifting dates. Don't let a calendar glitch mess up your bills. If you want to make sure you never miss a payment update, hit that like button right now to help us keep this community prepared. It is time to look at the hard data because today is Friday, January 30th, 2026, and for millions of you, the first big calendar shift has already happened. If you receive Supplemental Security Income, or SSI, you should see your February payment sitting in your account right now. Because February 1st falls on a Sunday this year, the Social Security Administration, by law, has to move that payment to the earliest business day, which is today. This is the start of a very unique 2-month stretch where the calendar is going to feel like it's playing tricks on your bank account. You aren't getting extra money or a bonus stimulus check. Rather, you are dealing with a technicality that requires some serious budgeting discipline to navigate without falling into a financial hole. The pattern we are seeing today is going to repeat itself almost exactly in 4 weeks. Because March 1st also falls on a Sunday in 2026, your March SSI payment is scheduled to arrive on Friday, February 27th. Think about what that means for a second. You are receiving your February funds on January 30th. And then you are receiving your March funds on February 27th. In the eyes of your bank statement, February is a double payment month for SSI. However, in the eyes of your landlord and the grocery store, you still only have one check to cover each month's expenses. The biggest mistake you can make right now is seeing that second deposit at the end of February and thinking it's a windfall. It is actually your entire budget for the 31 days of March. If you spend it early, you will be facing a very long and difficult wait until April 1st. Now, while the SSI schedule is jumping around, the schedule for traditional Social Security retirement, survivors, and disability insurance, SSDI, is staying much more consistent, but there are still specific dates you need to circle. For those of you who have been on the rolls since before May 1997, or if you are one of the millions who receive both Social Security and SSI, your Social Security check is tied to the 3rd of the month. In February, the 3rd falls on a Tuesday, and in March, the 3rd falls on a Tuesday as well. This is great news for your predictability. You can count on those funds being available at the very start of the week, allowing you to handle your early month bills with ease. There is no weekend shift for the 3rd in either February or March, so you can expect a very smooth transition into these months. For everyone else, the Wednesday birth date rule is your guiding light. If your birthday is between the 1st and the 10th of the month, your February payment arrives on Wednesday, February 11th, and your March payment arrives on Wednesday, March 11th. If you were born between the 11th and the 20th, your dates are February 18th and March 18th. And finally, if your birthday falls between the 21st and the 31st, you're looking at February 25th and March 25th. Notice how consistent that is? The middle of the month group has almost exactly 4 weeks between every single check. This regularity is actually a blessing compared to the SSI shifts, as it allows you to set up automatic bill payments without worrying about whether the funds will be there. We also have to talk about the 2.8% COLA that is now fully integrated into these checks. By now, you've seen the January payment, so you know exactly what your new normal looks like. For the average retiree, that $56 increase is what you are seeing in these February and March deposits. However, I want to address the take-home reality. In 2026, the standard Medicare Part B premium is $202.90. For many of you, that premium was deducted before the check even reached you. If you are looking at your February 11th or 18th deposit and wondering why it's a few dollars lower than your math suggested, the Medicare adjustment is usually the culprit. In March, these deductions will remain the same, so once you've figured out your February balance, you can safely assume March will look identical. There is also a significant group of people who are worried about a potential government shutdown or legislative delays affecting these February and March dates. It is important to stay grounded in the facts. Social Security and SSI payments are considered mandatory spending. Even if Congress enters a heated debate over the budget this spring, the computers at the Social Security Administration and the Treasury Department are programmed to send these payments out automatically. Your check is not a discretionary item that gets put on hold. Whether the government is open or closed, the birth date rule and the SSI weekend shift rule will still apply. You can breathe a sigh of relief knowing that your housing and food budget is protected from the political noise in Washington. One detail that often gets overlooked in February is the length of the month. February 2026 is a standard 28-day month. For those on a birth date schedule, this means your gap between the final February check, Feb 25th, and the first March check, March 11th, is only 14 days. This is one of the shortest gaps of the year. Contrast that with the SSI recipients who are getting paid on January 30th and then again on February 27th. The SSI group has a 28-day gap, which is also relatively short. The danger zone actually comes in March. Because March has 31 days and the April 1st payment lands on a Wednesday, the gap for SSI recipients will feel much longer. Using the shorter month of February to set aside even $20 or $30 can be a lifesaver when you hit the longer stretch of March and April. I also want to touch on the Direct Express card holders. If you don't use direct deposit to a traditional bank account, your funds usually post at 12:01 a.m. on the morning of the payment. For the early SSI payment happening today, January 30th, those funds should already be active. If they aren't, do not panic. The SSA officially recommends waiting 3 business days before calling to report a missing payment. Because this is a weekend shift, that would mean waiting until Wednesday, February 4th before you spend hours on hold with the 800 number. Most of the time, the delay isn't with the government, but with how quickly your specific bank or card provider settles the transaction. In March, since the early payment falls on Friday, February 27th, you should see those funds by Saturday morning at the latest. For our viewers who are still working while collecting benefits, the February and March dates are also important for tracking your earnings test limits. In 2026, you can earn up to $2,040 per month if you are under full retirement age. As you receive your pay stubs from your job this February, make sure you are comparing them against your Social Security payment dates. If you find yourself having a high-earning month in February because of extra shifts, remember that it could affect your benefit checks later in the year. Staying informed about how your work income aligns with these Wednesday deposit dates is the best way to avoid an overpayment notice from the SSA in 2027. Let's also look at the hidden changes in the 2026 landscape that affect these payments. The SSA has moved almost entirely to digital notifications. If you are waiting for a paper letter to tell you that your March payment will be early, you might be waiting forever. You should be checking the message center in your My Social Security account. They have updated the portal this year to show a payment history feature that is much more user-friendly. It will show you exactly what was sent, when it was sent, and if there were any deductions for things like tax withholding or child support. In a year where the calendar is this messy, having that digital confirmation is the best way to keep your peace of mind. Another point of confusion is the May 1997 cutoff. If you are new to Social Security in 2026, you might be wondering why your neighbor gets paid on the 3rd while you have to wait until the 3rd Wednesday. It simply comes down to when you first applied. The SSA changed the system decades ago to spread out the workload. If you are in the Wednesday group, your payment is actually more secure because it's processed in smaller batches. The system is designed to handle millions of transactions on those Wednesdays without crashing. So while it might feel like you're waiting longer, the birth date system is actually a high-tech way to ensure you get your money without a glitch. As we move through the rest of this winter, keep an eye on your local bank's holiday schedule as well. While there are no major federal holidays that fall on a Wednesday in February or March 2026, local weather events can sometimes slow down the processing of paper checks. Yet another reason to make sure you are signed up for direct deposit. In 2026, the SSA has made it very clear that they want to be 100% electronic. If you are still receiving a paper check, you are at the highest risk for a calendar delay because the mail service doesn't follow the same preceding business day rules as the Treasury's electronic transfer system. I want to spend a moment on the survivors and spousal benefit recipients. If you are receiving benefits based on someone else's work record, your payment date is not based on your birthday, but on the birthday of the person whose record you are drawing from. This is a common source of confusion in February and March. If you were born on the 5th but your deceased spouse was born on the 25th, your check will arrive on the 4th Wednesday, February 25th and March 25th, not the 2nd Wednesday. Double-checking this one detail can save you a lot of stress when you're looking at your bank account on the 11th and wondering where your money is. Finally, remember that the 2026 payment schedule is a public document available on ssa.gov. I always recommend printing out a copy and taping it to the side of your refrigerator. In months like February and March, where the SSI dates are shifting and the months are different lengths, having that visual reminder helps you stay on track. You can see the red dates for SSI and the blue dates for the Wednesdays at a glance. It turns a confusing calendar into a simple roadmap for your household. The bottom line for February and March 2026 is that the system is working exactly as intended. The shifts you are seeing are not mistakes or signs of a crisis. They are the result of a government system that is designed to make sure you have your money before the first of the month if a weekend gets in the way. By understanding the 2.8% COLA, the birth date rule, and the SSI double payment trap, you are putting yourself in the driver's seat of your financial life. We are heading into a busy spring, and being calendar smart is the best way to ensure you're ready for whatever comes next. Don't let the sensationalist headlines about change dates scare you. The dates only change to your advantage, moving earlier, never later. If you know you're a 2nd Wednesday person, you're set for the 11th. If you know you're an SSI person, you've got your money today and you'll have it again on February 27th. It's about predictability in an unpredictable world. Stay focused on your My Social Security account, keep your budget tight during the short month of February, and you'll sail through to April without a hitch. As we continue to monitor the 2026 benefit landscape, we'll be looking for any news on the Social Security Expansion Act or changes to the Medicare premium for the second half of the year. But for now, the February and March calendars are locked in. You have the dates, you have the amounts, and you have the knowledge to manage them. Let's keep this community informed and prepared for everything the 2026 Social Security schedule has in store. In conclusion, navigating the shifts in February and March 2026 is all about understanding that while the dates on the calendar may move, the system behind your benefits remains rock solid. As we've seen, the weekend quirk means that SSI recipients are currently in a unique double payment cycle, with the February funds arriving on January 30th and the March funds set for February 27th. This is a strategic move by the Social Security Administration to ensure you have your money before the first of the month, but it requires a disciplined approach to budgeting so you aren't caught off guard by the longer stretch between payments in March and April. For those on the standard retirement and disability schedule, the 2.8% COLA is now a permanent part of your monthly routine. Whether you are a second Wednesday person receiving your check on the 11th or a fourth Wednesday person waiting until the 25th, the consistency of this birth date rule is your best tool for financial stability. By keeping a close eye on your My Social Security account and staying informed about Medicare deductions and tax thresholds, you can make every dollar of your 2026 raise work harder for you. The start of 2026 has brought its fair share of headlines, from shifting dates to stimulus rumors, but the real path to security is found in the facts we've covered today. Don't let the calendar's quirks disrupt your peace of mind. You have the dates, you have the strategy, and you have the support of this community to help you navigate every change. Thank you for staying informed and taking control of your financial future. We will be here to update you the moment the next calendar shift or benefit update is announced.